Across history, humans have told stories of strange beasts, creatures so bizarre they seemed like pure myth. Our folklore is filled with monsters and marvels that defy explanation, born from the shadows of the unknown. But what if some of those legends were not just flights of fancy, but fragmented memories of real animals, warped and magnified by time and terror? Today we're uncovering 5 mythical animals that turned out to be astonishingly real. And the first creature on our list was once the terror of the high seas. For centuries, sailors returned from the unforgiving North Atlantic with terrifying tales of the Kraken. They described a monster the size of a floating island, with arms long enough to encircle a ship and drag it to the icy depths. In his 1755 work, The Natural History of Norway, Bishop Erik Pontoppidan described it in chilling detail, cementing its place in maritime lore. For a long time, science dismissed these accounts as the exaggerated fears of lonely sailors. But evidence began to surface, quite literally. The bodies of huge, unknown cephalopods washed ashore. Enormous sucker ring scars were found on the bodies of sperm whales, hinting at titanic battles fought in the crushing dark of the abyss. Today, we know the Kraken was inspired by the very real giant squid, Architeuthis duck. This deep-sea behemoth can grow up to 43 feet long, with eyes the size of dinner plates, the largest in the animal kingdom, perfectly adapted for seeing in the near-total darkness of its home. Rarely seen alive, it wasn't until 2012 that this creature was finally filmed in its natural habitat, proving that some legends do indeed rise from the depths of truth. It's a truly alien creature, with 3 hearts pumping blue, copper-based blood, and a level of intelligence that we are only just beginning to comprehend. The Kraken is real, and it's even more wondrous than the myths ever imagined. From the dark seas, we travel to enchanted forests. The unicorn, a symbol of purity, grace, and magic, its single horn, or alicorn, said to neutralize poison and cure any disease. While we know a magical horse with these powers is pure fantasy, the legend didn't spring from nowhere. The earliest accounts came not from Europe, but from respected Greek historians like Ctesias in the 4th century BC. He described fierce, wild asses in India that were white with red heads, blue eyes, and a single multicolored horn on their forehead. Many scholars now believe Ctesias was describing the Indian rhinoceros. While it doesn't match the graceful equine image, it is a large, powerful, single-horned animal from the very region he wrote about. When later travelers like Marco Polo encountered rhinos, they even called them unicorns, though they expressed disappointment at their brutish appearance. But another, more elegant candidate exists, the Arabian oryx. This stunning antelope, native to the deserts of the Middle East, has 2 long, slender horns. When viewed from the side, these horns can perfectly align, creating the illusion of a single horn. To ancient travelers, seeing this ghostly white creature shimmering in the desert heat, its horns merged into one, could have easily sparked the image of the mythical unicorn we know today. A creature of elegance and mystery, born from a trick of perspective. Perhaps no mythical creature is as universal as the dragon. From the greedy, fire-breathing beasts of European folklore to the wise, benevolent water spirits of Asia, these powerful reptiles have captivated the human imagination for millennia. While no animal breathes fire, the origin of these legends may lie buried deep within the earth. For thousands of years, people across the world have been unearthing massive, terrifying bones. In China, these were called longu, or dragon bones, and were ground up for use in traditional medicine. In Europe, the fossilized remains of dinosaurs, pterosaurs, and giant marine reptiles would have been utterly baffling. Without the science of paleontology, what other explanation could there be for a 50-foot femur or a skull filled with dagger-like teeth? It had to be a dragon. The myth was a rational attempt to explain the fossil evidence of a world that existed millions of years before us, and yet the world does have living dragons. On a handful of Indonesian islands lives the Komodo dragon, the world's largest lizard. Growing up to 10 feet long, it is a formidable predator. It doesn't breathe fire, but its bite is just as deadly. It uses a complex venom that induces shock and prevents blood from clotting, allowing it to take down prey as large as water buffalo. With its armored scales, powerful claws, and deadly bite, the Komodo dragon is a living testament to the awe and terror that inspired its mythical cousins. In Homer's epic poem, the Odyssey, the hero Odysseus confronts the Cyclops Polyphemus, a monstrous one-eyed giant. The Cyclopes of Greek myth were a race of brutish shepherds living in caves and fearing neither gods nor men. For centuries they were considered pure invention. But what if the Greeks were simply describing what they found? On Mediterranean islands like Crete, Sicily and Malta, paleontologists have discovered the skulls of an extinct species, the dwarf elephant. These animals, due to a phenomenon called island dwarfism, evolved to be much smaller than their mainland relatives. To an ancient Greek who had never seen an elephant, this skull would be terrifyingly alien. It was far larger than a human skull, and most strikingly, it had a single large hole right in the middle of its forehead. They would have had no way of knowing this was the nasal cavity, where the elephant's trunk attached. Instead, the most logical conclusion was that it was a massive single eye socket. This theory, first proposed by paleontologist Othenio Abel in 1914, suggests the myth of the Cyclops wasn't a story about a monster, but a fascinating case of prehistoric forensic science gone wrong. Our final creature is a true living fossil, a fish that rewrote the book on extinction. The Coelacanth was a prehistoric fish known only from fossils. Scientists believed it had vanished 66 million years ago in the same cataclysm that wiped out the dinosaurs. It was a closed chapter of evolutionary history. That is, until 1938. A young museum curator in South Africa named Marjorie Courtenay-Latimer was inspecting the catch of a local fishing trawler when she spotted a bizarre 5-foot-long blue fish. She knew it was something special. She frantically tried to preserve it and sent a sketch to the ichthyologist J.B.L. Smith, who, upon seeing it, famously wrote back, "I would have been less surprised to see a dinosaur walking down the street." The discovery was world-shattering. The Coelacanth was a Lazarus taxon, a species that had seemingly returned from the dead. With its fleshy, lobed fins that move in an alternating pattern like a trotting horse, it's easy to see how ancient coastal peoples might have told stories of fish that could walk. This incredible creature is a time capsule, having survived virtually unchanged for 400 million years. It carries the secrets of a lost world in its DNA. And when a second species was discovered in Indonesia in 1997, it proved that the deep ocean still holds mysteries that can turn myth into astonishing facts. So here's our list. The Kraken, giant squid. The unicorn, oryx antelope. Dragons, fossils and Komodo dragons. The Cyclops, elephant skulls. The Coelacanth, the living fossil. These stories remind us that our world is often more wondrous than any myth, and that sometimes the truth is hiding in plain sight. Which of these mythical animals amazed you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell for more amazing animal mysteries and discoveries.